Hey everyone, it's Lynn's. Okay, so finally I'm making a truffle mushroom soup. This is a favorite in my household. You have to really like truffle mushrooms. If you don't like truffle mushrooms, this is not for you. And if you don't like mushrooms, this is certainly not for you. Because this is about as mushroomy as you can get. I was with my husband in Palm Springs for a tennis tournament. And I went to a restaurant there and they had truffle mushroom soup. I'm like, oh, I'll order this. I ended up having 2 bowls of it and that was my dinner. It was humongous and it was insane. And I want to show you exactly what is in here, okay? So first of all, I want to make sure that we are going live here. There we are. There's a bunch of ingredients in here. This is a very simple but messy recipe. Okay, so what is in here? We have vegetable stock. You can use chicken stock if you want to. But this I made sort of vegan. So we've got vegetable stock, almond milk. This is cream of truffles. It's not really because it's got cream of truffles, but this one is white truffles and mushrooms. Okay, so you can just use this one if you want total vegan, right? And then we've got cream of truffles. Now, you can just use truffle oil. My daughter bought this. So we ended up, normally I just make this with truffle oil. So you have your choice of truffle oil or white truffles with cream. And I'm gonna put this is called our Bani truffles. This is so truffly if you like truffles. It's incredible. It comes out like a clump of something, and you put it in your I'll tell you how to make the recipe, but you put it in there. Then you've got a good amount of good black pepper. You can add tarragon if you want. And I've got some pink Himalayan sea salt. And then over here, I've got my different kinds of mushrooms. And that's where the key is here, right, guys? Finding the mushrooms. So we have our shiitake mushrooms, right? And they're all, I don't buy anything dry. They're all fresh. These are oyster mushrooms. They're really funky looking. Look at that thing. That's kind of really weird looking, right? Oyster mushrooms. You've got, these are portobello mushrooms. And then you've got your regular white mushrooms that I also use a lot of. And I'll give you guys the amounts. And then we've got, of course, yummy fresh garlic. Who doesn't like fresh garlic? A lot of people actually don't, but I do. Okay, and then we've got chives, and you can also use the scallions. Okay, so either one. So how do you make this? Now I've already made this. I could never make this on here without being completely messy. If you can see my sink, it's very messy. Okay, I made other things tonight, but I want to show you what this looks like. Okay, it's a very thick soup. It's very thick. It's cream of mushroom, if you will, and it's got chunks of mushroom in it. Everything you're seeing right here, the entire soup base, is just ground mushrooms with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I'll give you your amount. So what you do is you take all the white mushrooms and the portobello mushrooms and the oyster mushrooms and the shiitake mushrooms, but leave yourself 2 full packs, okay? And I'll tell you how many you need. Slice them up and saute them in in the truffle mushroom oil or the truffle mushroom cream sauce that you've got here, and saute them in there along with your chopped garlic. And then take your chives in another pan, take half of them and saute them as well. Just saute a humongous, enormous pan of them, and I'll give you the amount. I do 4 packets of them and 2 packets of the portobello and 1 packet of the oyster mushrooms. Chop them all up and then saute them. And then what you do is it's gonna get very watery. You want the water from the mushrooms because that's what's giving that yummy mushroom flavor. And then you pour it into, you're gonna need a blender. Put it in your blender and you add your fresh vegetable stock and you add a half a cup of the almond milk. And then this is what it looks like. You puree it, okay? This is not hot anymore because I just made this. You puree it and then it comes out like that. Can you guys see that? This is just mushrooms. This is just mushrooms. Right? It's very, very good. And then you take the remainder of the mushrooms and you slice them up and you put them in a pan. I've already used half of them. You slice them up and you put them in a pan, and again, your variety, and then you just stick them in here, right? Not all of them, but most of them, because we're gonna use a couple for a garnish. I'm gonna show you, because I'm gonna give this to my husband. Okay, so you stir them in, and then you've got mushroom soup that's all pureed mushrooms, and you've got your mushrooms in there, and it smells insane. I mean insane. Okay, you put them in there so that now there's mouthfeel to it. You've got your soup, and then you've got your chunky mushrooms in there. And then what you do is you serve it in a bowl, right? Put it in a bowl. Let me see. Now mine's a little thicker because I put a thickening agent in it, and you guys can do the same thing. If you guys want the soup a little thicker, this is the first time I've made it a little thicker. I put a little cornstarch in some warm chicken stock, or you can use a teaspoon of gargum, but the gargum kind of makes it a little slimy, so I'm not a big fan of that, but a teaspoon of it may do okay if you want it a little thicker. But the best bet is to use that cornstarch or a little bit of flour if you want. You don't need it at all. I normally have it with that. So once you serve the soup in a bowl, you want to take some of these fresh mushrooms. I'm just using my hands for now. You want to take some of these fresh mushrooms and put them on top, and then cut some fresh chives on top. And then there you have it. You have your mushroom soup. It really is that easy. The ingredients are really fresh. You got your pepper, your salt. Salt to taste, pepper to make it taste really, really good. That's black pepper. And again, if you like the taste of tarragon, tarragon actually goes very, very well with this. And this is a great recipe. I'm not going to go into the health benefits of this because this is just a yummy. There's amazing health benefits to mushrooms, but we're not going to do that. This is just for your mouth and your stomach. Okay, so this is very good. So guys, if you're looking to make something warm on these, I'm wearing a sweater. I wear a sweater, I wear a ski jacket, a vest, and a blanket. I trained at the beach today at night, right? I tried to get out of it. I really did. So if you guys are listening, my clients are listening, I'm sorry, but you know I tried to get out of it. Saying, aren't you guys gonna be too cold? It was 54 degrees at the beach, and it's always windy, and I had a blanket around my body, so that's how cold I am, and I'm Canadian, which is crazy. So if you guys want to heat it up a little bit, you want to make some truffle mushroom soup, this is delicious, but you gotta love mushrooms, and you've gotta love truffle mushrooms in particular. My entire house has that beautiful, amazing smell. So guys, that's the recipe. I will plop it in there. Feel free to make it a little bit different. Like I said, this one is a little thicker than I normally like it, but and it's also extraordinarily good watery. And heat it nice and hot. Add your mushrooms, add your chives or your scallions, and you're good to go. Okay, very fast recipe, very yum, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the workout. Bye, guys.